Hello, welcome to part 5 of Sunbeam Alpine Tiger recreation. Right, today we're going to talk about gearboxes. The original gearbox in the Alpine was a top loader gearbox 4-speed. It was shot, so as we've decided to put a Tremac T5 gearbox in. Now there are some differences. Now you see on the videos on YouTube where people putting T5s in Mustangs and the flying basically, but alteration to the bellows. It's not the case, not with the Alpine. So I'm going to tell you a few reasons why and how we're going to overcome this in this Sunbeam Alpine. I'm just going to spin the camera around now and we can see what I'm up against in regards gearboxes. So on the left we've got the top loader gearbox 4-speed. On the right we've got the Tremac 5-speed T5. Now the bell housings, there is a choice of bell housing, and what people usually do, they use the Mustang Fox body bell housing. Now that is a Mustang 3.8 bell housing. The Fox body is very expensive bell housing. This came with the gearbox, so we're going to use this. And the difference literally is between the Fox body and this is 20mm, which is 3/4 in old money, 3/4 of an inch. So the 4-speed top loader is a nice short gearbox, and it's actually an inch and a half difference in height from that to that. Now with the Fox body, if I get the Fox body one, I need to change the input shaft. Now I'm only gaining 20mm, 3/4 of an inch by doing that. An input shaft is like, I don't know, 80 quid, 100 quid. And then the Fox body bell housing, which is 400, 500, 600 pounds, if you can find one. So I've decided to go with this, and we can get rid of the 20mm by cutting a little bit more at the Alpine. So if you look at the gear linkage positions, they are more or less, they'll be, obviously this one's thrown further towards the back in the Alpine, but you can get an adjuster thing to bring it back. So that ain't going to be a problem there. Now, I've marked the gearbox out because of the tunnel. So the tunnel is very narrow. So we can gain a bit more by cutting this. It's not going to do any harm to the gearbox at all. Just blend it in when we've done it. That's fine. Now, also, the gearbox bell housing itself will need a slight alteration. So I'm going to cut a section out of this, so as this will bring it flatter, so as we gain a little bit more in the bulkhead. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a dummy setup with just the bell housing hanging from the engine mounts. So as I've calculated a few measurements on there, which I'll show you that soon, and then that will give us an idea where we are with a firewall or bulkhead, whatever you want to call it. Now, I've put a spirit level. Now, the garage floor is fairly level. Now, I've put a spirit level onto the actual dimensions between the T5 and the 4-speed top loader. And we are 29mm, which is around about inch and 1/8 in old money. Difference on the output shaft from the T5 to the T6. So mainly the problem is in the bell housing. So as we would have gained 20mm on there using the Fox body one, obviously, but we've still got to cut something out. So as we'll get on with that in a minute and see how things progress. Okay, so as we made some mock-up plates from the engine mounts to our bell housing. Now, as you can see, we're hard up against the bulkhead on this, so as we need to do some slight modifications. If you can see round the back edge, it's just catching on this reinforcement piece here. So I'm going to cut a piece out of here, and then I shall re-strengthen it all back up. So I'm going to cut some out and then see if we can get this lined up. We can work out where we're going with that. Then I can bolt the gearbox to the bell housing once I've cut the hoop and slide it in, making sure everything's fine, and then we'll know that this will go in a piece of cake. Okay, so as the bell housing is in position now in the dummy mock-up, and it's looking quite good. There's plenty of clearance at the back. I'd just be happy just to trim a little bit more out of there. However, what you've got to realise, we are 6mm to the back because of the jig which I made with the 6mm plates on, so as it actually throws it back 6mm. So as realistically, you've got 6mm clearance because it'll be forward 6mm. So as that's looking good, I'm happy with that. Well, we've took the piece out to give us some more clearance, and then we've welded a plate in. Welds are not that clever. I'm not as good as I used to be. You need a steady hand these days, but that'll polish up nicely. So I'm happy with that. Bit of a gusset in there, few tacks, no need to fully weld it on the inside, and the outside's polished up, that'll do. So let's get this mounted to the gearbox and see where we are with that. Okay, so as we've started some tunnel modifications, because we've had to cut a bit out to get the gearbox in, so as it goes in really nice. Now we've gone for some 4mm at the back, which is in old money it's about what, 316, and we've had some 2mm at the front in the tunnel, and this is for a brace which will go to the end, so as we'll have 2 support braces from the bulkhead then. So as from this side, it's all looking good. So that's quite solid now. No fear of the car twisting like a pretzel. So as what we've got to do now is we've got to concentrate on sorting a clutch pedal out, hydraulic clutch pedal. So that's the next project, sorting that one out when we've sorted this out. But what I'm going to do now is get the gearbox in position and make sure everything's fine. And there's my wall of templates as the project goes on. My masking tape aided design. Okay, gearbox is in. We've also got it clamped and bolted in the holes, and it's a beautiful fit, should I say. And from the inside, we've got very good clearance there. Don't forget, it is 6mm further back because of the makeshift mounts. It does slightly need to come over this way a little bit. That'll line it in the tunnel. It's about a quarter of an inch out, 5-6mm, which you'll get that on the engine mounts. There's plenty of room there to allow for it. So I am pleased with that. Now the brace here, I shall be putting a brace in there, which you'll probably see it, somewhere further on down the line. It has been a bit of a challenge, to say the least. I'm just going to show you one or two things now what I'm up against, which will be on the next few series further on. But I am well pleased with that. I'm just going to have a good clean up now because it's a mess. So as I'll bag everything and get the hoover in here, but obviously after I've put that brace in. So as just to end this episode, here's a few things. All this was totally full with body filler. So as I'm raking it all out, and then we'll get some welding there. That's where the steering rack goes through, which it will improve the Ackerman angle, because I've got a straight rod steering rack on that, which we'll see about that later on down line. There's my makeshift mounts, and you can see the plate is about 6mm, so obviously it's going to come back towards the front of the engine. And also because we've took a lot of the bulkhead away, or previous person's done that, I've worked it out that the clutch cylinder is going to come out of our here if I'm right. So then we're going to try and originate the original clutch pedal. So this is what I've ordered, which is like a rally spec one, and I can actually physically, this is cranked over as well, which is very good. I want to use that original pedal. That's the aim. This will bring it lower down out of the bulkhead. Then we'll use a separate reservoir for the clutch fluid, which I think that'll go. That'll be in another episode, I think, where problems with mounting the clutch. So as we know where we're going to go with that. But I'm going to leave it on that. Thanks for watching. I hope everybody's going to look forward to part 6. I know I am. And if you want to be alerted every time to see how far I go, just please subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed all the problems what I've been facing, and we'll see how things go. Thanks for watching. Bye.